Welcome to your magic moon message. This is the peace dealer. I gotta be dressing formally more. This looks nice. Anyway, the moon is in Taurus, the sun is in Sagittarius. And we have made it to the Virgo signature. The moon at 10 degrees Taurus made a 150-degree angle to the sun at 10 degrees Sagittarius. For those of you who, of course, would like more insight around what these angles mean and how to make sense of them, I have Astro 104 currently being uploaded on my Skool community. Click the link in the description box below. 101, 102, and 103 are available and they're free. You can join the community for free. And you guys would be helping me majorly if you checked out these free courses and you gave me your feedback. If you let me know, hey, Peace Dealer, I read these courses and they were legit. All right, that'll definitely let me know whether to keep some stuff. I'll add some material to that too. 101 and 102 have like long videos at the end as well. If you've seen them on YouTube, I've put them on there. But other than that, let's get this started. We are on our way to the 180-degree opposition that looks like it's going to happen at like 12 degrees Gemini. So from 10 degrees Taurus to 12 degrees Gemini is that Virgo signature relative to the sun's position in Sagittarius as we reach this climax period. And I still do have in my mind that we are due for a season 3 finale plot twist. Okay, so once we go through this full moon and we start to get a true intellectual understanding that aligns our perspective, which is ascended in Sagittarius, Taurus is this next stage of grounding that is following up the moon in Capricorn Taurus signature that manifested this vision through the Capricorn decision making and grounding to at least not have this just exist in your mind. And to speak on these earthly stages for Sagittarius season after the new moon, the first stage is the moon in Capricorn, this universal understanding of a universal perspective. We are now anchoring into some type of physiological grounding. This allowed us to literally direct the meaning of what we're seeing. So we activated the new moon at the end of Scorpio, which is significant opposite Uranus, because now 2 weeks later, we're going to transit Uranus directly opposite in Taurus. All right. Once again, in between them, we activated the circuit. So we experienced an emerging awareness. Now that Venus is in Sag, Mercury and Saturn are direct, our belief systems have finished reevaluating. The psychoanalytical thoughts borrowing from this ascended vision we were now processing is now direct. It's done reevaluating. And the activation of this current enabled us to take an emerging perspective with which through the moon in Pisces, we began to adjust so that our belief systems we're understanding begin to match a whole year's worth of development of what we now see in Sagittarius. This brought us into integration through Pisces after Capricorn, which took this vision as the moon was in Sag, we were beginning to see, and now directed practically where we now look into, where we are now seeing this higher meaning. Now through the moon in Pisces, that 90-degree integration square, we went through the moon in Aries, which now borrowing from the direction of Capricorn is now integrating authentic direction relative to how much of yourself you feel you are and how this understanding of yourself at this point drives your vision forward. And now that we've done that, the moon in Taurus is the second stage of earthly grounding, that being the most solid and grounded sign. Boom, that's the ground type Pokemon. Shout out to The Rock. And this puts you in a position to now supplement the direction in Capricorn and Aries you've activated and integrated this cycle towards. And now we are understanding the values we have. We're understanding the literal groundedness that based on these values will fully integrate everything we activated at the end of Scorpio through Sagittarius. Okay. Now, Taurus, in integrating a Sagittarian vision, is taking the higher meaning that your mind's eye sees, and it's now integrating your physiological senses. And I think it's a good enough video as if to explain Taurus represents your physical senses, the smell, the sight, the hearing, the taste, right? With Uranus that we're going to conjunct before it goes direct at around like 27 degrees, it's going to revisit the opposition we had 2 weeks ago, which not only will make for astounding breakthrough of a breakthrough, but it's going to revisit what we are currently innovating and unconventionally and radically owning as far as what we understand we're worth. And once again, how this understanding of our value integrates this higher vision that we will see come into further grounding, that we will see feel tangible, feel more like we're doing something. Okay, I have my citation case tomorrow. I've handed in my non-plea. I just came back from the Clark County District Attorney's Office, and I served them papers for a motion and a supplemental notice so that, you know, they can first, before the case happens, see what jurisdiction they even have, and possibly push to dismiss. Whether they do or not, I'm already dead set about what the next step is, and I'm just giving you this as an example to show I've taken practical steps. I've taken the theory of what I'm planning to present myself with, and boom, I've taken action through Aries to, well, make this real, serving real papers. I'll keep you posted on how that goes. Other than that, once we now step full into Gemini, we're going to produce the second effect. The first was Pisces. The first was really Sag. Second, Pisces. Third, of course, we're going to have Gemini. Gemini is going to now apply this groundedness that we're integrating everything together. And now we're going to experience what we're truly seeing. And then anything after Moon in Gemini, we're literally breaking through and harvesting this final harvest season. And I think you could look forward to some accelerated growth and development. Now, just to bring back the astropsychology of this Virgo signature, once again, everything we've activated up until Moon in Pisces activated not only ascended abilities we're going to see ourselves master and develop that you've pretty much been working on all year, but now that we're in the integration phase, Taurus, specifically in the Virgo signature, takes everything since the new moon, Moon in Sag, Cap, Aqua, Pisces, Aries, and it's tying it practically all together. Integration is now tying it all together so that when the moon's in Gemini, boom, we can break through. And yeah, this is going to get ready to change the way you perceive about everything, since Saturn of totality is anchoring your belief systems to imagineer this shift, these game changers. Okay, so other than that, the moon will sextile the North Node, anchoring this grounding with destiny, and now tying everything you're meant to believe with how specifically you can ground this perspective. As it now sextiles closer to the end of Taurus with Saturn and Neptune, it's going to reinforce this previous adjustment of your belief systems and the transcendence of old beliefs that are now obsolete, because thankfully you're dreaming bigger. Remember, we set for life, and the moon in Taurus subconsciously will guide you more on how specifically to ground this and to, you know, make this a lot more tangible for you and practical. This is everything now you will put into words when the moon goes into Gemini. But most importantly, the moon will conjunct Uranus, and this is going to not only activate another lunar Uranus cycle, but it's going to revisit and adjust how much more you have been reevaluating this innovation in preparation for the next opposition we'll have when the moon is in Scorpio, when we're about ready to have the final new moon. So we talked about the earthly changes: Capricorn, which was the first step; Taurus, which is the second earthly grounding, and the last earthly grounding is going to be moon in Virgo. So once we've now manifested the direction we've taken with the moon in Capricorn, we've integrated how we're going to ground this relative to our values, which align with these adjustments to our beliefs. Then in about a week and change, the moon is going to go into Virgo, and we're going to complete this Sagittarius signature after the full moon in Gemini. That's going to help us adjust what we're truly seeing. In a week from then, the moon in Virgo is going to now analytically understand. We're going to have an analytical understanding of how what we're seeing is true is actually real. And that's going to really adjust our perspective of this emerging vision that we will by then complete breaking through into a real, tangible, experiential behavioral shift to align our habits with our vision. Then we're going to have the new moon in Sagittarius at the end of Sagittarius to activate this new vision, and then take and direct it practically in Capricorn season, which will be post-climax, letting you know this moon in Taurus could be like a calm before the storm. Because once we have this full moon, the next 2 weeks, I think, is going to move by very rapidly. I mean, time is time. But so I'm speaking in a psychological sense. But yes, it's definitely going to now take into account everything you've activated and integrated up until this point, and we ready to go. So hope you enjoyed this magic moon message. With the moon that will be opposite and now direct Mercury, this is going to tie into what has been revealed to you relative to previous wisdom that you can now get ready to take back into Sagittarius to see more how you'll process it. The opposition to the moon will just really ground more of this natural quality, so that a lot isn't just in your head and you're tasting, touching, sensing what we're breaking through and where we can take this once again when the moon goes into Gemini. Other than that, we did have the square to Pluto when the moon entered Taurus, which is now integrating this, more extraordinary awakening of your supernatural abilities. And yeah, I hope you enjoy this transit, and I hope you're prepared for the full moon. Be okay with certain things shaking up and down. This really just asks for you to adapt versus to give up when things look like they're not working your way. Just be willing to adapt where necessary and see that vision regardless. Okay, I see we sexy, I see we loved, and I see we set for life. You guys stay blessed as always, and until next time, peace.